gonna go over there. She really. You know, I get worried because his daughter's in New York. I'm not close. No, like two or three boxes. We got rid of a lot of stuff beforehand, so I donated it to a place I call United Breast Cancer Foundation. Call them.
I'd like to start the meeting. Would everybody please rise? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Welcome everyone. Zoning Board of Adjustment, Township of Aldbridge meeting, March 19, 2026. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Aldbridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting by prominently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, the date, the location, and the agenda of this meeting. Also by mailing such announcement to the Home News and Tribune, filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk, and posting the agenda on the municipal website. Do we have a roll call? Ms. Percelli.
Certainly. Mrs. Andrews? Absent. Ms. Gomez? Absent. Mr. Izzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Present.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here.
Ms. Testaverde? Absent. Mr. Singh? Absent. Ms. Fernbach? Absent. Chairman Sullivan?
Here. As a matter of housekeeping, this meeting is being televised on, right here in the township on CATV Channel 15. Well, simultaneously, it goes out over YouTube Live. If you ever need to see or refer back to the meeting, you can do so on YouTube. As you notice, there's only 4 board members that are seated tonight. The board consists of 9 people, 7 regular and 2 alternates. We only have 4 tonight, but by rule, that constitutes a quorum, so we will be able to hear applications. Whether or not applicants want to have us take a vote on it would be up to the applicant, and we'll deal with that a little later on. Having said that, just so we know the ground rules here, to my right and your left is the board attorney, Mr. Joe Macklin. To my right further down and your left would be Dan Holohan, the zoning officer. Everything is recorded by a stenographer. I would ask anybody that testifies tonight, these are directional microphones. Please talk directly into them. You don't have to be right on top of them, but you do have to be in line with them. Having said that, let me go through some other issues here. We're going to go, I'm going to move the adoption of the rules and regs along with the discussion on the zoning board annual report to later in the meeting. The planner is not here yet. She will be arriving shortly, so we'll move that down. Moving on, it's minutes of February 5th, 2026. Hopefully, everyone has had a chance to review them. Absent any comments or deletions, I'm going to ask Mr. Macklin, we're going to take a vote on this. Someone move it?
I move it, Scogno.
Is there a second?
Is there?
Roll call as to the minutes, February 5th.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. We have 2 resolutions this evening. I'll read them in order. 50-2021Z, OBNJ. There was a major preliminary and final site plan with C&D variance. Mr. Macklin?
Thank you, Chairman. This resolution was for application number 50-2021Z. This was for approving preliminary and final site plan with use and bulk variances for property block 1069 and lot 1. This is Old Bridge. The applicant was OBNJ LLC. This was proposing to construct additions consisting of a first story and second story with apartments and commercial use. The board found that the applicant provided sufficient testimony for the relief requested. And then the second resolution, or do you want to
We'll just do the one.
just do the one? Okay.
Board members, you've heard the contents of the resolution, so we'll move that for adoption.
Izzo?
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. 03-2025Z, Prime Space Capital LLC. This is bifurcated D variance and was a denial. Mr. Macklin.
Yes. Thank you, Chairman. The board found that the project would not have, would have stood out in the neighborhood, and it was inconsistent with the character of the neighborhood and would have adversely impacted the residential neighborhood. This is commonly known as 12 Pine Street and consisted of many lots, and this was block 1804.
Board members, someone want to move that for adoption?
Izzo?
Is there a second?
Second, Scogno?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. All right, that moves us right up to our swearing in of professionals. As I said, Ms. Sawant, our planner, has not arrived yet. She will be shortly. I want to ask Mr. Hollihan to be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you. Back to you, Chairman.
Thank you. The agenda, we're going to take out of order tonight because we're going to take the C variances before we take the one other application that we have. In reference to that, number 33-2024Z Community Bible Fellowship Church, that's located 442 Cottrell Road, that's block 14263, lot 9.12. They're seeking major preliminary and final site plan with C and D variance. Unfortunately, they were ready to be here, but we didn't have enough, and by law, I guess I should say, Mr. Macklin, we have to have 5 in order to hear that application. So we only have 4. We offer our apologies on that. People get sick and people can make it, and I apologize on behalf of the board. Mr. Clauser has made comments to me that they would be ready to go, and I think we're giving April 16th as a date.
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's April 16th. There'll be no further notice. So that matter, obviously, is not going to be heard this evening. The next application, we're going to go right to the Cs, then we'll take them in order. 51-2025Z for about Krishna, block 7120, lot 1, that's 26 Dahlia Lane in Old Bridge. Applicant seeking a variance to install a fence around the property for safety and privacy. Is that you, sir? Come on up. Are you going to testify by yourself? Okay. Come on up. No, you come right up and sit at the table here. Board attorney will swear you in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God? State your full name and spell your last, please.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. In C variances, there are minor variances in a sense that they're usually done on homeowner property. It's not as a commercial level. It's something that you do in your own home, but sometimes requires a variance. The board sits and hears that. The board is comprised of people here from the township, and this applies to everyone else who's here tonight for C variance. They're members of the community. We are volunteer citizens who sit here to hear applications.
Okay.
In doing so, all we want you to do is tell us the who, what, why, and where. Basically, why are you here? What do you want to do? How are you going to do that? How are you going to accomplish this? You may have some questions from us. We may have some questions of you. I'm going to ask Mr. Hollihan, who's the Township Zoning Officer, to explain, after you finish speaking, why you're here.
So I am here for installing fence around my property. So you can see the highlighted green area, green line, where I would be planning to install, once it's approved, the fence. Fence height would be around like 6 feet. It's, I think, American white, which is like allowed by the township. Last year, we were not planning to install, but like you can see, I have two kids over there. In summertime, they were planning to, like they were playing, but most of the time me and my wife has to stay because it's the street area, cars are coming here and there, so we have to always vigilant on our kids. That is one. Second one is just for safety reasons. Second one for privacy. Like if they want to play around with the water or something like that, then obviously we want some privacy around there. There are two main reasons we want to have fence. So that's why we are here to seek your approval for doing that.
Okay, you're the original owner of that home?
Sorry, yeah,
It's recently built?
yeah.
Okay. Mr. Hallahan, give the board a synopsis.
Thank you. Yeah, so if everyone can look to the screen to the right, so the applicant's seeking a C variance for a fence in a front yard. This is Dahlia Lane that runs around the lot here. Typically, something like this would be approved if this was another street, because then it would meet the definition of a corner lot. But because this is all one continuous street, this is then an interior lot, which then makes the fence in this area not permitted unless it's reduced to a 4-foot height and is see-through. So it's one single C variance for a fence in a front yard. I do want to make one comment, or two comments to the board. There are two easements that are on this property. They're hard to see on this survey, but there's a 4-foot utility and sidewalk easement along the frontage of the property. And then there is a 20-foot wide drainage easement that is shared between this property here and then lot 10 here. Just for clarification to the property owner, I just want to make it understood that the township doesn't permit fences in drainage easements or
Yeah.
any easements. So should the board act favorably, the fence along this property line would just have to be relocated 10 feet in so that it doesn't encroach within this drainage easement.
Exactly. So 10 feet like from the property boundary.
Yep. Yeah,
And,
so you have a capped rebar here, which
Yes.
designates this corner. Same thing here.
Yeah.
You would just have to be set 10 feet off of that.
Yes,
Okay.
And also 4 foot back off the
4 foot.
walk-
Correct. Yeah,
from the
which
side
is,
street.
that's already shown on the plan. I have no further comments.
For the record, I'll make note that the it's Associa Community Management Corporation, a reference to the applicant here, dated December 16th. It reads as follows: modification request fence installation. Dear homeowner, your application to install a fence was approved by the Board of Trustees in the following notations. The approval is contingent upon the following, by following all township, state, and federal requirements related to the installation. Upon receipt of any township permit, please provide a copy to the community manager. Material being used for your property modification may not be placed on common areas. Material may be placed on your driveway. No contractor can leave equipment on any street overnight. You're responsible for the removal of all that construction debris. You may not build a fence on any portion of the HOA or the common property. So in essence, they have no contest to you doing so.
Yeah.
And you've received a copy of
Yes.
this, right? We'll have that for the records. Let me see if the board has any questions for you. I'm going to start on my left. Vice Chair? I noticed on an aerial that a lot of people have done the same thing, right? Matter of fact, it's getting quite common
Yeah.
in the community.
Yes,
And you have young children, you want it for privacy and you want it for
Yes.
the safety. You said 6 foot?
6 foot height. That is a standard one, normally white.
The proposal is 6 foot, yes, in the front yard.
All right. I heard you mention 4 foot.
4 foot is what's permitted under the ordinance, yep.
So you're going to build 6. This is going to be vinyl,
Vinyl.
solid vinyl?
Solid vinyl.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Hallahan? Mr. Macklin?
Just one, this is for you, Mr. Hallahan. Is it consistent with other, did you visit the site?
I have not visited this site, no.
Okay, then this question is for you. The other fences around, with your neighbor's fences, are they 6-foot fences?
Yes,
Yeah, and this is because it's not a corner lot?
Correct, yes. If Dahlia Lane to Page South was Verbena Lane, it would be a corner lot definitionally and then would be permitted under the ordinance. Being that every applicant is every application is viewed on its own merits. The board has approved a number of these with properties that are on interior lots that have frontage along one roadway. So it wouldn't be out of character in the neighborhood.
Right, and matter of fact, there's several of them around your property.
Sorry?
There's several fences that have been erected around your property.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
You have anything else you want to tell me right now?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to go to a public portion on this matter. It's 51-2025Z. Physical location is 26 Dahlia Lane here in the township. This is for seeking variance to install a fence around the property. If anyone wants to make comment on this matter, please stand or raise your hand. This will be the only time for public portion, if anybody is interested. Seeing no one, I'm going to close the public portion. Any final comments, sir?
No, thank
Let me
you.
explain one thing to you. I'm assuming you're going to ask me for a vote, but before you do so, what the rules say in this matter, in the C variance, you have to have the plurality of the vote. So tonight there's 4, you would need 3. So if that doesn't succeed, you can't bring the same application back to us again.
I agree. Accept.
Are you willing to take a vote with 4 people here?
Yes.
Okay, very good, sir. Mr. Macklin, this is simply a C, right? Hardship?
I don't believe so,
Okay,
because it's not uniquely situated.
okay. Not,
No.
not. Someone willing to move for approval?
Scogno, approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, as to C.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Good luck on your fence. Please get the proper permits.
Thank you.
Thank you for appearing with your
Thanks, sir.
family. All right, next matter is 57-2025Z. This is Arian Sigworth. This is R40 zone, low-density residential. Block 10252, lot 07.12, physical location 61 Partridge Road. That's Matawan mailing address, but here in the township. The applicant proposes to replace a 28.2 by 32.1 detached barn garage with a new 28-foot by 33-foot by 21-foot 9 height, 2-story detached similar structure. Are they here this evening? Come on up. Both of you going to testify? Both of you can come on in. You can take the 2 seats in front of the microphone. Ma'am, would you do me one favor? Push the button on that and it'll turn green. One more time. Yep, there you go. Okay. If you just stand for a moment, sir. Board attorney will swear you both in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God? Yes, I do. Please say both of your first names and
We'll start with you, sir.
Craig Sigworth,
spell your last, please.
Siegwarth.
And your first name, ma'am?
Arlene Sigworth.
Arlene.
Arlene.
Please be seated. Okay, I know why you're here and what you're looking to do. As I told you before, you don't have any professionals with you. If you have any documents or any kind of exhibits that you want us to see, you can give them to Ms. Porcelli, and the board attorney will decide whether or not they can become evidential. Your property was, this structure actually was a fire in that, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We mark them all as one?
Mark them all as
A1?
A1, yes.
It's a series of photos here.
Yeah, depict of the fire.
I'm going to hold them up to you first, because I'm assuming you understand the same thing I said to the previous applicant. You're going to tell us the who, what, why, and where, why you're going to do this. I'm going to ask you to explain these, and we're going to ask Mr. Hollihan why you're here for a variance, okay? Having said that, it was a total loss of that barn, correct?
Yes, it was.
All right. It's a series of 3 pages. Would you describe the first one? Can you see it from there?
Not for Brian.
All right, yeah, I'm the one that took the pictures, so I could explain.
Okay.
I was just showing the path going to the backyard. One of the reasons why we wanted it in the front, that was one of the reasons why it was rejected. It currently is in the front, and in order to go into the backyard, there's like a lot of trees would have to be removed to create a driveway. So I have an aerial shot of the property, and I was trying to take shots on either side of the garage so you could see the trees and everything. And then as far as the size, Craig.
Let's just go through the pictures first.
Okay.
Well, it looks like some tents up top,
That's some of the stuff that survived the fire.
okay? And on the bottom, also, same?
Same.
From the
One of
barn
them-
far-
One of them is on our front porch. It's like there's no room to put stuff. We have 4 pods, storage pods. Well, now we're down to 3 because we were able to consolidate.
Okay.
But we have.
No one was hurt, right?
Pardon?
No,
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, good.
What about that one?
That's just showing you how far away the garage is from the main road. It's 75 feet away from the.
And there's
central
some pods
park.
there too, right?
Pardon me?
And it says,
Yeah,
I guess your storage pods, they're there on the property? How many of them are there?
Right now, there's 3.
And you want to get rid of them, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Costing you money.
Especially with the.
Yes.
Yeah, and especially with the snow. We had no place to put snow. It's like.
You're not going to build it on the same footprint that you
Exactly.
are going to?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me now, and I'll go to Mr. Harlan, and he'll give me the technical stuff.
No, unless you want to say why we need the same size.
You can tell me.
Okay. Well, I know Craig does a lot of
Well, it's-
carpet restoring.
yeah, well, I need the size of the building. It's anything small would be dangerous to work in. I got my table saws, I got my metal working equipment.
Okay. You're not going to make it living quarters?
Oh, no, this is all hobby.
Is there plumbing in there now?
No,
Uh,
not at the moment.
You have electric?
Yes, well.
Well,
Had electric.
had electric.
Had electric.
Okay. But you're not planning on changing it into some sort of a living quarters?
Oh, no, no.
Okay. Mr. Hollihan?
Thank you, Chairman. So the applicant is here tonight seeking 4 separate C variances. I will go through each one. The first one being accessory building size, which is proposed at 924 square feet, where 600 feet is required. Second variance would be an accessory structure in a required front yard. Third one would be accessory building height of 21 feet 9 inches proposed, where 15 feet is required. And then the last one being accessory building stories at 2 proposed, where 1.5 is required. I'll be honest, I kind of felt guilty having to deny this one. I tried every which way to get through with a permit. The way that our ordinance is written specifically with existing non-conforming structures states that if there is a total loss, it can only be rebuilt in conformance with the ordinance, which limits the size, limits the height, limits the stories, and limits the location. So this is essentially a direct replacement of what's been there for countless years. It predates any aerial images that I have really access to. I would say for sure it predates the zoning ordinance, which requires the building size, height, location, and story. So I have no objections to this application. They are replacing essentially in kind what has been there probably longer than all of us in this room.
How long is the property there, that building?
They had I had the roof replaced once, and I found a shingle that had a label on the back of it, said 1935 on it. That's the only,
Yeah. Not as old as the house.
not as old as the house now.
How long you been on the property there?
Oh, what, since
Your whole life?
Since 91.
91. Let me see if there's any questions. Counselor? No. This seems pretty straightforward to me. I'm very sorry you had that loss, and I'm very sorry that you tangled up in the intricacies of the law, because really all you want to do is replace what you had right there. But unfortunately, as Mr. Hollihan explained, there's technicalities in it, and that's why we have an attorney here, that's why we have a zoning officer, and just to make sure that everything goes right. So I'm very sorry for your loss, but we do have to either take a vote or not take a vote tonight. Let me go to a public portion right now and see if anybody wants to speak on this matter. Once again, 57-2025, physical location 61 Partridge Road. This was a replacement for a barn that burned. That was like last year, or 2 years ago now?
January 2025.
January 25, okay. Anyone want to be heard in this matter, please raise your hand or stand. This will be the only opportunity for public portion. Oh, seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Any further comments, folks? No?
Chairman,
Board members, go ahead.
if I can add, with a structure this size, typically what the board will do will be enact conditions, no commercial businesses, no living quarters. So I would ask maybe if we can come to an agreement with the applicant that those
Right,
conditions.
those are the
can be-
questions that I asked you. Were you thinking about turning it into living quarters? That would become part of the resolution, and you would agree to that, correct?
Yes, yes,
You're going to continue on using it the same way you had it?
yes, that's correct.
Electric's okay,
Electric's okay, yep.
no plumbing?
Plumbing is technically okay, as long as they obtain permits. Is there any plans to do any plumbing or just electric?
I had thought of putting a heating system in, but that would be bad.
Yeah, I have no issues with any utilities run to the barn, just as long as they don't create a dwelling unit, which is a combination of living facilities and cooking facilities, so.
Okay, you understand that, folks?
Yes,
That's okay with you? You'd agree to that if we approve it?
yes, I agree.
Final comments from anyone? Any problems? Mr. Hollihan? We have 4 Cs, correct? Yes. Can we group them together? Yes, we can. We'll take all 4 Cs at once. Anyone in favor of approving?
Motion to approve, Scogno.
Is there a second?
Izzo?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Once again, sorry that you lost that, but good luck on redoing it. You'll have a resolution by the next meeting, and make sure you obtain any permits. I'm sure if you touch base with Dan, he'd be more than happy to help you out and we'll send you in the right direction.
I have one question. Do we have to like reapply for the permits or just the permits that we already have
Dan?
submitted?
So hopefully at the
outside of our
next meeting,
jurisdiction.
yeah, when the resolution gets adopted, which is typically at the next meeting, Maureen, once it's signed, will email you a copy of it. Once you get a copy of that resolution, bring it to the building department, say, hey, here's my resolution. They will then send the permit application back to me, and then I will approve it. So you don't have to refile anything.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
You got
All
it.
right, folks, thanks for being here tonight.
All right, thank you.
We have to hold on. Want to give them back? So keep. She'll get them now. All right, next application, 58-2025Z, Noreen Dixon. Is there anybody here on this matter? All right, physical location is 300 Highway 35 in Lawrence Harbor. No one here on that? All right, this is matter 58-2025Z. It's block 21, lot 299. Physical location is 300 Highway 35 in the Lawrence Harbor. Applicant seeking to legitimize a fence that was installed without permit. I'm told, Mr. Hollihan, that there's been no notification given on this, and we've lost contact with
Yes.
council. I guess we can dismiss this without prejudice, and they would have to refile. All right, so in reference to that, if everyone overheard that, 58-2025 has been dismissed. They'll have to refile on that, and it's dismissed without prejudice. Come to the final C application for this evening, 59-2025Z, David Lynch. This is zone R20, low, medium density, residential. This is block, you can come up. This is block 11257, lot 7, physical location 4256, Highway 516 in Manawan for a pole barn. Applicant seeking to propose construct a 22 by 44 by 20 pole barn, 968 square foot, where a maximum of 600 is required and a minimum height of 15 is required. No rear yard or side yard setback was proposed. Mr. Lynch? Yes, sir. Is the lady with you going to testify? You can come up if you'd like. You're probably only going to talk from the back anyway, so you might as well come up.
She's got answers to questions I don't even have.
Okay. We'll swear you both in.
Would you both raise your right hand? Would you both raise your right hands, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you please state your full names one at a time and spell your last?
David Lynch, Lynch.
Patricia Lynch, Lynch.
Thank you.
And the physical location is 4256 Highway?
That's correct.
Highway 516. Please be seated. Same thing applies. We're just going to ask you what you're doing, why you want to do it, how you're going to do it, and we'll go through the same routine.
Okay. What I'm looking to do is put up a pole barn.
Just a little closer, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Bring that into you.
I'm looking to put up a pole barn so I can store my motorhome out of the elements.
Okay, motorhome is
It's a
big?
class, yeah, it's a Class A motorhome.
Why don't you tell us how big that is?
It's 12 feet, 10 inches high, and it's 37 feet long.
The barn is going to be put where, sir? I see on the survey, looks like at the end of the driveway?
That's correct.
But that's nowhere near the end of your property, right?
No, my property goes back another 600 feet.
And it's paved up to that area where you're gonna, is that the reason you put it there?
That's correct.
Okay, you have any other exhibits or anything else you want to tell us at this point?
No, I believe
What's
you have everything.
The reason for the 15-foot is because, what'd you say the height is? 1210?
1210.
Mr. Hollihan?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, so the applicant is here seeking 2C variances to construct a 22-foot by 44-foot by 20-foot 4-inch height pole barn, where a maximum of 600 square feet is proposed. The proposed square feet is, 600 feet is required. The proposed square footage is 968. And then with a 20-foot 4-inch height is proposed where 15 feet is required. So it'd be two separate C variances for this application.
Okay, you planning on doing anything other with it? You could use it for commercial purposes?
No, just storage for the motorhome.
You're not going to turn it into another living
No,
facility?
no,
Will there be plumbing,
no,
electric?
no.
You can ask for electric if you want to have some lighting in there. Even if you don't do it, it would probably be better for you to ask
It's
now.
going to have a door, a window, and when you open up the big door in the front, there's going to be plenty of light.
Okay, so you don't need it. Okay, let me see if the board has any questions. I'll start on my left. No question. Counselor?
Yeah, the height is proposed to be 20 feet high, is that correct?
20 feet, 4 inches. The interior height is 16,
16, okay.
and that's because you have the roll-up door coming down underneath it, so we have to make it high enough that it will clear it.
Anything else, Mr. McElroy?
No further.
Anything else you want to tell us? Anything else? This is prefab kind of building, I guess?
Yeah, it's going to be put up in a day, I believe. They just bring the pieces and they pop it up.
Okay. I'm going to go to the public on this matter. 59-2025Z, physical location 11257, 4256 Highway 516, Matawan mailing address for a pole barn. Anyone wish to be heard in the matter, please raise your hand or stand. This will be the only opportunity for public portion. No one has, I'll close the public portion. Any final comments?
No, sir.
Once again, you'll need 3 of 4. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Chairman, if I can just ask the applicant one question. I know we had spoken this, but just for the record. So I know these side yard setbacks are not notated on the survey. The requirement is 10 feet. If the board acts favorably, you would just agree to keep it at least 10 feet off of that side yard? So the setback from this structure here to the property line, the requirement's 10 feet, which as it's drawn, it would,
It's like 6 feet. Yeah, it's about 6 feet.
it's 6 feet, okay. So then that would be,
So you want to?
Another
the
variance.
side yard setback?
yeah,
Side yard setback at
And
6?
yeah, it's 6 feet. I spoke with my neighbor. He didn't have
Okay.
a problem with it.
I
You'll
think
be asking for
I think we can just group that third one in, correct? Okay. So it'd be three variances, one for the height, one for the size, and then one for the side yard setback.
Okay, everybody else here?
Yep.
All right. Someone want to move this for approval?
Izzo,
Wait, what?
Izzo second?
Roll call, please.
Who was first?
Me.
Okay.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Thank you for appearing. You'll get a resolution by the next meeting.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, we'll just take a few moments here for the stenographer to set up. Oh, you are? Very good. Yes, sir. I was just going to say, we're going to have to. We're going to go to a quick recess, 5 minutes would, at most. We're just waiting on Ms. Sawant from the Township Professional. Counselor? Absolutely. Okay. We'll stand in recess. All right, we're back from recess. Ms. Porcelli, could we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mr. Izzo?
Here.
Mr. Scogno?
Present.
Ms. Spinelli?
Present.
Chairman Sullivan?
Here.
Mr. McElhenney?
Here.
Ms. Sawant?
All right, when we left, we had finished with our C variances. We have one other application for the evening. I'll call it in. It's 47-2024Z, Bergen Concepts LLC. It's the EDO1 zone, block 13000, lot 9.12. Physical location on that is 3699 Route 9 for an LED billboard. Major preliminary and final site plan with the D variance. Applicant proposes to erect an LED billboard on the property. Jason Tuville, on behalf of the applicant. Counselor?
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Good evening. Jason Tuvell, attorney for the applicant. If the board recalls, we were here, actually, I think it was December, and we testified, we provided testimony from two witnesses, our operations expert, the applicant owner, as well as our civil and traffic engineer. I think we had some limited time that evening because there were a bunch of applications on the agenda. But the takeaway that the applicant had from that night was that the board challenged us to do a few things and encouraged us to meet with the board's planning staff, which we did on 2 occasions. And the 3 things I think the board challenged us to do after that first hearing was as follows, and I'll summarize what the changes were to the plans that we submitted to the board and that you'll hear about this evening. So first and foremost, we agreed to eliminate the Lukoil freestanding sign that is currently at the property. The board has felt, I think, when it was looking at the proposed billboard and the freestanding sign there, that could be an issue. So the applicant agreed to remove the Lukoil sign in conjunction with Lukoil and replace it with a more aesthetically pleasing monument sign with landscaping around it. So that was one change that we made in concert or consultation with your board professionals. The next was the height of the sign of the billboard, going back to the billboard. So the billboard was originally proposed at 65 feet tall. We have reduced that to 55 feet. The other is the size of the billboard. So the original billboard that we came in with was 20 by 50, so 20 feet high, 50 feet in length. The billboard now is 14 feet high and 48 feet in length. So 3 things that we did in connection with the project is we eliminated the Lukoil sign, actually more than 3, eliminated the Lukoil freestanding sign, replaced it with a new modern one with landscaping, reduced the height of the billboard, and reduced the size of the billboard. So what I plan on doing this evening, Mr. Chairman, is calling Mr. Seckler back, our civil and traffic engineer, to explain the modifications we made to the site plan. I don't think that should take very long. And then in addition to that, we have our lighting consultant, who's also here to just show, which we submitted, just the lighting impacts or lack thereof, in our opinion, of the billboard, and we'll go through that. So I know you only have 4 members here this evening, so even if you were all in favor, we would still be in trouble. So the goal is to just present these 2 witnesses this evening, then we would adjourn to a date that everybody agreed upon. And what I'd like to do, I think it's always helpful to have the planner at the last meeting so that when the board is ready to deliberate and consider the application, the planning testimony is fresh in the board's mind when it's considering and deliberating on an application. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recall Mr. Seckler, if that's okay.
Absolutely. He's still under oath.
Yes, I am.
Would you just give the benefit of those from home who you are and why you're testifying as?
Certainly, my name is Matthew Seckler. I'm a licensed engineer, and I am the site civil and traffic engineer on the project.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and your licenses are still in good standing and credentials are the same?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't we, Matt, go back to the site plan and describe to the board the changes that were made between the last time we were here and now.
Absolutely. So can we go back to what was just on the screen?
And just refer to the sheet that we're on.
Yes, that's the correct one. I can't see the date. My eyes are definitely not. So what this is the updated site plan, and just kind of going through what Mr. Tuvell had just put on the record. The changes that were recently made to the plan is that the freestanding Lukoil sign is a pylon. Previously was a pylon sign of at least 30 feet. It was located generally where the proposed billboard was. If you remember, the billboard was kind of over top of the pylon sign. We've removed it and we relocated the sign and made it a monument sign. It's now located at the bottom right-hand portion of the property, so that is the southwest corner of the property. Now, again, it is right near the property line itself, but just to remind the board, these property boundaries are very far set back from where the actual roadway is. It's about 85 feet back from the curb is where that pylon, where that sign will be located, that monument sign will be located. So again, while it's very close to the boundary of the property, it's nowhere near the edge of the roadway, so clearly set back far enough for drivers driving by where it's not imposing on them. The sign itself will be 16 feet 4 inches, so we're basically almost cut the height down by half. We'll be vegetating, creating a landscape, little area around the base of the sign as well. The overall sign square footage will be 62.8 square feet, which is fairly consistent with what is out there today, just kind of reworked. You know, the sign right now has a really wide Lukoil name, and then the pricing is kind of narrow underneath it. We've kind of reworked it and provided a little more of a modern look. Again, that'll be located at that bottom right-hand corner of the sheet as you look at it in this case. Difficult to see from this image, but because we're looking down on it. But as Mr. Tuvell mentioned, the billboard sign has been reduced 10 feet in height. So it's gone from 65 feet at its highest point to 55 feet. And again, the actual dimensions of the sign are now 48 by 14. So those are the changes to the site plan. Accordingly, I know I provided extensive testimony at the previous hearing regarding traffic engineering and the two FHWA publications that came out studying whether electronic billboards are distracting or dangerous to drivers. Obviously, all that is still consistent. All that testimony is still consistent with this updated plan. So again, just by dropping the height of the billboard by 10 feet does not impact any way in terms of the driver safety on the roadway.
Okay. And just indicate there'll be landscaping and around the perimeter or around the base of the freestanding sign, and we'd be happy to work with the board professionals in the event they had any comments or suggestions relating to that landscaping.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's all I have for Mr. Seckler. I just wanted him to walk you through the changes that we made.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God? Thank you very much. Back to you, Chairman.
Have any questions? The only one comment I would make, and not a question, I just want you to affirm that the monument sign and the location is not anyway going to impede the site triangle because it is because of the way the right of way is and the property line is so further setback. So I just wanted the board to hear that.
Correct. And then again, it's somewhat unique to this property is that the Route 9 right-of-way is so wide here that, you know, even though we're basically at the property limits, there's no impact to coming in and out of the driveways. You could see fine.
And I believe this location has prior approvals, right? The monument sign?
I'm not, it could be, Vina, I'm not sure. I could check the prior approval.
Because I thought there was a site plan approval to relocate that monument sign to this location.
Yeah,
So you're actually just trying to confirm you already have an approval for this location. That's my recollection, am I right?
Yeah, the Lukoil representative is indicating that that's the case.
Okay.
That's all.
Yep, no further questions.
Board members on my left of this witness. None?
Oh, just one, please. The location on Spring Valley Road, would the sign be facing that stop sign? That's that traffic light?
Yeah, so the sign is perpendicular to Route 9. So
It's
you
facing
see it.
more south?
It's facing north-south. So you'll see it on Route 9. If you were coming down Spring Valley, you're likely seeing the narrow side of it, so you wouldn't be able to see it unless you're immediately next to it and looking to
Yeah,
you.
is there any interference with that
No.
traffic light at the stop and then that light of the sign?
So that sign is about 80 feet back from where the pole is, and then the lights on the pole basically are over the lanes themselves. So you're
Right.
almost 100-foot separation between where the actual
Yeah,
red,
but-
yellow, green is.
But then you
and
have
our
to
side.
make the left turn onto 9 from Spring Valley.
Correct, but and if you're on Spring Valley across the street, you wouldn't see the pricing of this sign. You wouldn't be able to see the pricing at that sign because it'd basically be aligned with you.
Okay,
So it would not be distracting from those drivers either.
yes, okay, thank you.
Mr. Rizzo? No, sir. I have nothing. Counselor?
Okay.
Back to you.
All right, thank you. So our next witness, Mr. Chairman. What? Oh, I don't know. Do you ask for public questions of the witness at the end?
At the end.
Okay. So the next witness I'd like to call is our lighting consultant, Elidio Vincente. And he did not testify last time, so we should swear him in.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you state your full name and spell your last?
Sure, my name is Elidio Vincenti. Last name is spelled Vincente.
Great. Elidio, can you just give your background in terms of being a lighting consultant, specifically with billboards, and what your role is in this project?
Sure. So I'm the Vice President of Corporate Accounts for Media Resources. Been with the company about 7 years now. Been in the industry for just a little over 20, and been working with light specialists throughout all of North America.
And your role in this project is to design the lighting for the billboard itself?
That is correct. We are the manufacturer, and we manufactured this digital billboard specifically to abide by the rules of OAAA, which is the out-of-home Outdoor American Association. So that the board is actually designed to meet these regulations.
So you're testifying as your time in the industry and your knowledge. You're not, is not a licensed professional, though, correct?
No, he's not a licensed civil engineer.
Oh, that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll accept.
No, I appreciate it. So why don't we go to the lighting, lighting exhibit, and then I'd like you to walk the board through the lighting plan that we have and how it affects or doesn't these surrounding areas. And if you want to let Maureen know which page you want her
Yep,
to
you
go
can
to.
start on the first page. We can work our way back up. I'll go through a little bit of the technology of the board itself so we can all get an understanding
All right.
of how it's manufactured.
And we're referring to the media resources document that your office prepared in connection with this application, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, go ahead.
So the board itself has photo sensors built into them. They have redundant sensors. So it actually takes in ambient light throughout the day. So it'll actually adjust the board accordingly to the weather, whether it's an overcast, sunny day. So it automatically will adjust it. It does have redundant photo sensors built into it. So if one were to fail, the backup one would take over. In the event, if both of them were to fail, which we haven't seen, it also has a timetable built into the software. It's built based on where it's installed, based on the time zone and the time of year. So if in the event that it went down, it would automatically dim down based on the time of day and climate of the year. Excuse me. Okay. We can keep scrolling down. Next page. So this chart here kind of displays how the board reacts and how it's operating. So in the event someone were to bring up a case of the board being bright or not operating correctly, we have it built into the software that it actually tells us exactly how the board is brightening throughout the day and how it would dim it down through the evening. In the event where we had to go back 2 months, we actually save all of that data in our database where we can review that time of the complaint if there was ever one.
Okay. And the lighting is adjustable, correct?
The lighting is adjustable, that is correct.
Okay, all right. Keep going, okay.
So here's one that we brought back. It's just another example of a time where we were back in time a couple of months just to see how the board behaved. We can go to the next page as well. So here's the actual light graph itself. This displays how light is being distributed throughout the board.
And let's
So-
just be clear, this is page 4 of the document you provided and prepared, and this is an aerial of the proposed property and a light exhibit based on the aerial on the property.
That is correct.
Okay, so, okay, just want to make sure that was clear. Go ahead.
It doesn't take into account any elevations.
Okay.
So the black area of the board, that is completely black, to be zero light being generated from that area. As you, I don't know if we can really, see if you can zoom in a little bit, maybe you can see the chart itself. Can we enlarge it?
Here you go.
Enlarge it a
You
little?
can read mine. if you'd
No,
like.
just for the, Mr. Chairman and the board to, so the way it's set up, if we scroll down, it's actually, no, I'm sorry. So it actually breaks down within 200 feet, 400 feet, 600 feet, 800 feet, and out to 1,000 feet. And as the board, as you go out further, the light itself diminishes. It's no longer measurable. So at the brightest point, it would sit in its commercial area of 200 feet. That's sitting at about 0.287 foot candles. So it's right around 300 nits, 200 nits, give or take. And as you get further out, you can see as the levels will drop. Once you get into the 0.00 level, the light is no longer measurable, and there'll be no light being generated from that board.
Okay, and just, if you could just describe, just going back to the exhibit itself, the black areas demonstrate that it won't be visible from any residential areas,
That is
correct?
correct.
Okay, and even when you were within the 200-foot range, which is the closest range that you studied, can you just give a comparison as to what that foot candle would, like, what would a person view that as? Can you just give a common sense
Yeah.
example?
So at 200 feet, sitting at right around that 287 foot candles, it's equivalent to a 60-watt fluorescent light bulb on someone's porch at about 50 feet away.
Okay. So in your opinion, this is not going to have a negative impact from a lighting perspective on any of the neighboring residential properties nearby?
That is correct.
Okay. And as to the properties that can see them in the commercial corridor, those wouldn't be negatively impacted either, correct?
That is correct.
And the applicant has agreed based on I think we talked about this last time, Mr. Chairman, but there are conditional use criteria in other zones for billboards, and we agreed to comply with the timing of the lights, which is, I believe, 11 p.m. The billboard would have to shut off. So I just wanted to make that
I
clear.
think you
as
put
well.
that on the record
Yes.
during our December.
Yep, okay. All right, that's all I have for Mr. Vincente. Any other questions, be happy to.
I just have one quick question.
They're incandescent bulbs, not fluorescent bulbs.
I'm sorry, incandescent bulb, apologize.
You mentioned residential homes. I don't know of any there.
Yeah, the goal was to show by way of this exhibit.
Okay.
That there are none within the vicinity. Yeah.
Well,
Or the ones that are nearby are not within the range.
Yeah, they're not even in close to the range.
Right.
Okay. I want to make sure that, Ms. Sawant?
I don't have any questions, just a suggestion. Maybe when your planner comes to testify, right, it would be worth looking at our lighting ordinance just to compare, because I know that in the ordinance, there are intensity requirements for at the driveway, in the parking area. So the board is familiar with those numbers. In comparison to that, if you show the same exhibit when John is testifying as a planner, he might be able to give the board an analysis as to, this doesn't have any negative impact compared to an entrance of a driveway where you have your lights or a parking
Yeah.
lot within a commercial.
So you're suggesting, just so I have the direction clear, comparing the light of the billboard to what the site lighting would be on a commercial property
Correct.
in this zone.
Correct.
Okay.
And I can talk to John.
That's fine. No,
John.
we're happy to have him present that data. That's
Just
fine.
because the board is familiar with those decibels and the intensities, so it helps them compare.
Yeah. No, I know typically on site plans, we don't talk about nits and things of that nature, so that's fine. We tried to do it in foot candles, which is there as
Correct.
well, but we can,
No, it's great.
yeah,
It's great.
but we can
Yeah.
show the comparison as well.
And if our planner thinks it's a good idea, I think
Absolutely.
it's a good idea.
Yep.
Let me see if there's any questions. I'm going to start on my left. No, sir. I have none. Counselor?
No.
That was it for tonight.
Okay. There's nobody here in the room, but I still have to open a public portion.
Yeah.
Can I do so now?
Sure.
All right. 47-2024Z, this is Bergen Concepts for LED lighting. It's Spring Valley and Route 9. They're looking to put up a billboard. Anyone here in the room this evening wish to be heard, please stand or raise your hand. Okay, there will be further testimony money in this case, in this application, down at another date, but tonight would be the only time. I see no one has raised their hand, no one has stood. I'll close the public portion. Back to you, sir.
All right, so, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. Like I indicated, just because there isn't a full complement of the board, we would like to carry this to a matter where we have hopefully a full 7. I'll provide the transcript to the board so that other members can read it if they just choose to do so, so we could have 7. So I'd ask if the board would carry this without further notice to a date certain that we could decide this evening.
Yeah, and I think we have that date, Mr. Tavel. I think it's April 30th, and I'll read that into the record in a moment. But I want to apologize on behalf of the board. I'm sorry that we didn't have a complement here for this application. There was another one as well earlier this evening, and you heard me speak to Community Bible, which has nothing to do with you, but it's another application before the board. And obviously, we can't control people's health, and,
Sure.
and I'm very sorry about that. And I know that these are complex applications, and it takes a lot of people to do this, and merging these dates all together, I know is quite uncomfortable, I'm sure, from your aspect and ours as well. So I do apologize. I know we have set it, Ms. Percelli, for April 30th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you have nothing further to say, I'm just going to say that this matter will be continued April 30th with no further notice.
7:30 p.m. in this room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll be here at 7:30. Yes. Let's hope everyone else will as well.
Okay.
Once
Great.
again, thank you and your witnesses here this evening, your professionals, for coming.
Great, thank you, Mr.
Trying to
Chairman.
make this common sense to us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that, sir.
Okay.
All right, we have board members, we have just a couple things left. We did the minutes, we didn't do the discussion on the annual report and the adjustment of the rules and regulations for 2026. Let's talk about the zoning board annual report.
So,
Read that, and it was interesting that over the years, how things do change, and I know one of the issues was accessory structures, and it's interesting that we had 2 tonight.
oh, okay. So actually, just for the new board members, I know Ms. Benelli, this must be your first time with the annual report. So this is one of the requirements of the municipal land use law, and the reason we do an annual report is nothing but a summary of all the applications that were heard in the last year, and basically we summarize it and we categorize it only so that the township council can make policy decisions. So to give you an example, there was a time when many of the homeowners that came here in front of the zoning board would come in for a floor area ratio variance. And that was only because the way the ordinance was written, if you have a finished basement, then it's included in the FAR. If it's unfinished, you don't include it. So somebody who wants to finish their basement, although the building footprint is already there, it would trigger a floor area ratio variance. And then it becomes a burden to this resident because now he has to hire a professional, he has to come in front of the zoning board. It's time consuming. So this is one of the examples. But what we do is we look at the applications that were approved. If there is some type or something that we can fix and eliminate and make it easier for the residents, we make those recommendations to the town council. In fact, fences, accessory structures is something that I noticed because I review the applications with our zoning officer. So we already, in the last year, towards the end of the year, we started making those changes. So in the last 8 years, we have been improvising the zoning ordinance so that it becomes much and much less stringent to the homeowners. The recent one, in fact, it was, we had a public hearing this Tuesday, was when there is a corner lot and you have two front yards, because any municipality that you go to will require two front yards when you have a property on the corner. But then what happens when it's a corner lot is you have lost two front yards. You can't have an accessory a structure in the front yard. And many a times, because it's an intersection of a roadway, the property is not a perfect rectangle. It's chamfered because of the curve. So then they are literally, they get a very tiny corner in the rear yard where they could put a structure. Many a times they can't fit in a pool, they can't fit in a shed. So we amended the ordinance so that you could have a pool in your second front yard, not the front yard that faces the house, but the second one. We allow any accessory structure in that front yard provided it is not more than 6 feet, because you have a 6-foot fence. You don't want it to be visible to the homeowner that is facing that side, right? So that was the ordinance that was implemented just this Tuesday. So we have been improvising. So this is just a report that I prepare summarizing, and we hand it over to the Township Council. Typically, I'm the one who makes those recommendations to the council that, oh, I think this should be fixed, or floor areas. Now I'm noticing, actually, I have a list of things that I want to fix, because in the past, the township created these cluster zones. So on the zoning map, you will see R20 zone, but the actual development was developed at R7 standards. So which means that they were, lot sizes were smaller than the zone requirements, but in lieu of that, you got open space for the entire development. But then they have different bulk standards. Now, because I know the township well, I know the ordinance well, I know that this was developed at R7. But tomorrow, if I'm not here and someone new comes in, it is going to be challenging. So I have a list of 29 such developments that I have to go and fix ordinances. So we try to do them, but obviously the council is busy too with a lot of other things that are going on, including the housing plan, which we just adopted last Thursday. But there's a list of things, so you will see changes coming in. And if something comes to your attention, do let me know. But we have been working. So this is just a summary, and I would just recommend that we pass it on to the council.
Hopefully, everybody had a chance to look at it, and I did note the interesting that you talk about accessory structures. And I know we changed design waiver for driveways where we were having
Yes.
problems smaller. When these homes were built, they were built with one-car driveway. Because
Yes.
they were built in that era where you didn't need, you only owned one car.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we have caught up with this, and I certainly agree with the recommendations made there. And hopefully I'll entertain any comments, but other than that, we could probably move to adopt them and have that passed on to the planning board and to council.
Yes.
Any comments?
No, I'm good. It was interesting. I read through it.
Right. And it changed, and COVID did change a lot of things, and that was mentioned in there, and people took on their own projects and not knowing.
Yeah.
I think we're moving somewhat out of that area now, but we still have some
We still have a long way.
tail end.
Because the original ordinance was written like 30 years ago, and we're trying to eliminate inconsistencies. So it's been,
Would someone be interested in moving that for adoption?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Izzo?
Roll call for adoption.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
Yes?
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Swan, for that, and my vote is obviously yes. We have one other issue on the agenda, is the 2026 zoning Board of Adjustment Rules and Regs, item 3. What was removed from there was the term vice secretary.
that's all.
The only thing that you will see is in the rear where there was actual adoption of different rules. The comments are there, but they're not part of the regular.
Correct. They are not a part of the regular one. And the only other change was the public commentary time to 3 minutes, because I think that's important. The one thing the board just needs to understand, because this was a question that was that came up for a upcoming planning board meeting when there is going to be a lot of public participation. When we say we are limiting public comments to 3 minutes, doesn't mean that you will not get a chance. If you have 10 questions and you're done with only 5, you will never get a chance to come back and ask the remaining 5 questions. All it means is that you will be given 3 minutes to talk. We will want the rest of the residents to get a chance to speak. Once everybody is done, you can come back and ask additional questions. This is slightly different than what is done in front of the council, because council, you come and only comment. But when you are in front of the planning board and the zoning board, typically you come and ask questions, you get an answer, and then at the end there is a commentary period as well. So I don't want the residents to feel that, oh, but I had more things to ask and I was asked to stop at 3 minutes. That's not true. You will get a chance, provided that other people in the room also get a chance to speak.
Any comments?
I just have a question. What happens, are we still stopping at 10:30? Are we so that's still gonna, okay.
Yes, we are going to implement that as a hard rule, because sometimes it just goes beyond that, and we have been in meetings where we are here till 11:45 and it just goes on. So for people who travel, especially the professionals, and most of my staff, we come back at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it becomes very difficult.
Board members themselves have jobs.
Yes.
So then what, just as curiosity, so what would happen? Would that just be carried if they had more questions to the next
Yes.
meeting? Like, so,
Yes.
so then,
Those that have
okay.
sat with me, you know that I try to get.
No, you do. I'm just,
Squeeze in as much as we can, hopefully breaking at 10, so we have time for the public portion. Maybe cheating a little bit and adding a little
Yeah.
here and there, dividing the time up, particularly when we have multiple applications.
yeah. No, the 3 minutes definitely helps. I
But
think it,
I think it did when we used it the one time, and I think making it a rule, I think, would further help us out when we have a contentious issue, and rightfully so. You want to hear what the people have to say.
right, no,
But to answer your question, just because we stop at 10:30 doesn't mean that we're going to conclude that application at 10:30. If there is more public who wishes to talk, or if there is a testimony that needs to be put up, we just carry it to whichever the next date available is.
I've always tried to do that, and I know Avina has tried to push for that, and I am empathetic to people's private lives and their jobs and their own personal time. You give of your own time here to come here, so we do try to keep it to the 3 hours. Not always successful, I will admit that we've stretched it a little bit, but sometimes a lot of bit. But we'll continue to hopefully stay on that path.
I have something. Mrs. Sawan, I have concerns about the removal of the vice secretary. I have nothing. Maureen does a terrific job, and she deserves a secretary position. That's no problem there. But I believe when we were first established, back in 1992, 8, or whatever it is, that was a vote on that vice secretary by the board. And when we removed it, there was no vote to remove it. It was just told us that it's not warranted by the MLUL or whatever, and you just removed it without a vote.
So, I mean, it's not something that I did it because I wanted to do it. We reached out to our township attorney, and it was told to me that it's not a requirement of the municipal land use law. In fact, the planning board bylaws, if you look at it, they never had a vice secretary position. So only the zoning board had it, and it just, I want to be consistent. I spoke to our zoning board attorney as well, and I was told that in all the towns that he is serving, they do not have that position. That vice secretary position was actually meant for municipalities that are much smaller and do not have a full-time Maureen Porcelli. So when there is no full-time employee, because not every planner, not every township has a township planner. Most of the smaller municipalities, they usually have consultants, and they don't even have a full-time employee. Then it was important that there is somebody who volunteers and takes up the position. But once you have a full-time employee doing the secretarial job, there is no need to have an appointment on the board. And that is where the municipal, so you're right, there used to be a vice secretary and secretary position like 30 years ago, and after that municipal land use law was amended, because then most of those municipalities started having an employee. And now too, there are some municipalities that have part-time board secretary, but still there is a fixed outsider who controls the process. Because to me, in some instances, having a voting member also do a secretarial job is kind of a conflict. So then they separated it out. So that's the only reason. And so we're just trying to be consistent here. Planning board didn't have it. We eliminated it from the zoning board. We don't need it because now Maureen is already, we have always had one. And if you notice, many of the resolutions in the past were signed. Even the secretary wouldn't sign it. Dawn Barbelli or Kim Silverman would sign it because they were full-time employees. So it's just a change that was warranted just to be consistent.
It just, what's concerning to me is that nomination time in January, if somebody runs for secretary and gets nominated, you have no parameters of, oh, that person has to have a talent, because we would have to have access to the township records.
No, I don't get the,
Well, say I ran and I won, and I got voted. Okay, now I'm secretary.
but there is no running or voting. It's
No,
just a
yes,
recommendation.
Yes, nominations we have every January.
Correct. It's a nomination. But when you're changing the bylaws and now you don't even have, same thing happened with the planning board. There was a nomination and Casey used to handle it. He's one of our township employee. I mean, he's the director of public works. But now that we officially, the bylaw says it doesn't have it, we just told him that Danny would take care of the resolutions. So I don't understand what is.
What I'm saying is that if somebody puts me up and nominates me, and I get the nomination and I win, so I'm secretary now. So I have to actually have to enter the township, and I have to get onto the computers. I have to also see everything.
No, that's not true.
Well, how would I
You
do-
are not, as a vice secretary, even if that
no, not
position
vice
is there.
I'm saying you didn't set up any parameters where I'm not eligible to be the secretary.
I don't think that was necessary.
What happens if I get voted in?
If you get voted in, but if the position is eliminated, what happens?
No, secretary.
No, but why, we wouldn't nominate you as, you wouldn't be able to be nominated as a secretary when you have a full-time employee. Why would,
So you're going to remove the nomination for
Correct,
secretary? Oh,
correct.
that won't be there anymore.
no, it wouldn't be there. There is no need. If you have eliminated it from the bylaws, means that position is eliminated. There will be no nomination for it.
Secretary,
Correct.
not vice secretary. I'm talking with secretary.
Yep.
So there'll be no more nominations for secretary.
No, I'm confused now.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
confused.
right. It's vice secretary that you're getting confused with. That's gone. I understand that.
Yes, vice secretary is,
the
the
secretary
secretary, there will be no nominations other than Maureen Porcelli. The board still has to appoint her. She's a full-time employee and she is designated. In fact, I don't even know, and it's a question to the board attorney, that if you have a full-time board secretary, Do we need to even nominate that position? I know it's typically done at the beginning of the year, but technically you don't need to.
I'm not going to say one way or the other. I don't know off the top of my head if you have to continue to nominate her year after year, even when she's a full-time employee. I get what you're saying, and it does make sense that
Right.
if she's a full-time employee, what's the need for a nomination?
Correct.
But I don't know if there's still the formality in place.
I mean,
You just have to
it is
remove the
my
nomination.
No, but it is my observation, and Old Bridge is not the only town I've worked with, right? So it is my observation that every town I have worked with, they have a full-time employee, but yet that person is nominated by the chairman or whoever the board member is, and every year they still appoint the secretary. So I don't know if it's a formality,
But he
but
does say, is there any other nominations?
it would be an appointment, not a nomination.
That's how it's written.
Yep. So.
What if it's a no? No, if the board says no.
The board really can, yeah.
So what does it come up for a vote?
Beginning of the year, the reorganization.
Yeah, right. So
wouldn't-
what if
there
it comes
no-
up for a no?
It's an appointment. It's not.
Right, but
it's
you
not-
asked for a
it's not
vote on it,
nomination
on the
for-
appointment.
For the position. It's not a nomination for the position.
But you asked for a vote on that.
Formally, yes.
I think there should be some safeguards in there
Safeguards for who?
for that position.
There is. She's a township employee.
You know, regarding,
She or whoever.
regarding the appointment, there should be some,
I mean, I really miss the point because, when the secretary is chosen, right? If suppose tomorrow there is a vacancy, Maureen, I don't want you to get ideas, okay, please. But if, I'm just giving an example, there is a vacancy. Me as the manager, I review the candidates, I shortlist them, then they are interviewed by the mayor and the business administrator. They make the final, in consultation with me, they'll make a final pick. Once that position is picked, that person is the board secretary. It is one of your township employees with a designated role. So at the beginning of the year, you just reappoint or reaffirm that person, as that person would be serving for the following year as the board secretary. But I believe at that point, it's just a formality. It has been done, and maybe our board attorney can just confirm. But I have seen that in every municipality, that although there is a full-time employee, the appointment is still made at the beginning of the year. Just like you appoint the chairman, but chairman, vice chairman, there are nominations for a board secretary. It's an appointment. There is no two people that run for that position. It is a full-time employee that covers it.
Any other comments? No, sir. None? Let's take a vote for adopting the 2026 zoning board of adjustment rules and regs. Roll call.
Mr. Izzo?
Yes.
Mr. Scogno?
yes?
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes. Thank you all. We have one other item. I have an open public portion. Sir, are you here to see the board? Oh, okay. In that case, officer, you don't have anything to bring before the board? Okay. Sure. I'll call for an adjournment. Someone want to move it?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Izzo?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you all.